Hi there, and welcome to the Wicked Bee of the West YouTube channel. My name is Stephanie Eubank. I am a doctoral candidate at Concordia University of Chicago. I am also a professor of operational management at Stan State. So, I want to talk about a really concerning topic with an organization that I consulted with a few years back. And I'm keeping this person's name confidential, not necessarily for any other legal purposes other than I don't want people to go and uh, harass her, since I've noticed a lot of toxic leaders don't know that they're toxic. And it's really interesting because this has to do with quotas. Now, I did a study with them to help them figure out what their productivity levels should be in order to establish quota. And finding based on what the average person within their team was able to produce, um, and this is for a financial institution in their auditing department. Based on this, I found that in total, they could only be doing about 8 files a day. The quota that she placed on each different person was 17, and other people in similar positions that I know specifically have 5 to 8 as their general quota due to the fact of complexity and ongoing changes to federal and state guideline requirements, etc. And difficulty due to, well, just issues that are happening in the financial industry. So I asked her, legit, how did you come up with that? What metrics were you using? How were you guys using a different software system at the time? Why is this quota so much more than what we found by actually doing a stress test? And her response still haunts me. It was, you never know what somebody can accomplish until you push them beyond their breaking point. And I just kind of blinked at her and went, that's not how that works. That's not how any of that works. Because by doing that, she had there, one of the issues that was the reason they had brought me in to do this analysis was to analyze why they were suffering from such a revolving door of employees. She was creating so much burnout and such a hostile work environment that people didn't feel comfortable continuing to work for her for more than 6 months to a year at a time. That her team had become a revolving door, eating away at a very minority group within the financial industry as far as those with the auditing capabilities to and specialty capabilities she needed for that team, that she was burning through not just the workforce within that organization, but the entire workforce of that industry, and making it to where they were not able to attract new people. And part of the reason for this is because she was using what one might, the only way I can describe it personally is being being a drill sergeant or a drill instructor in the military, or being an athletic coach that doesn't understand that you are not getting the best out of your teammate, you are pushing them to break them. People are not horses. We do not break them, because that has long-term major suffering on our workforce and can ruin our entire economy. Business leaders have to understand that their ability to influence and bring out the best in their employees doesn't just hurt their company, especially now post-COVID, it hurts the entire workforce. We have to, as authentic leaders, have a level of understanding. Our workforce is very burnt out and stressed. The reason they're burnt out and stressed, well, for one, millennials, this is the second round of a recession period that they've had to go through and a reconstruction period to boot. These all of the workforce has suffered and had to work through COVID. Not everybody had worked remote or hybrid prior to COVID, so there had been adjustments made to that. And those who enjoyed working remote were want to promote more of it when toxic leaders are trying to say, no, I want to be able to stare at you. And that's not okay either, because they're doing the same amount and level of work as they're doing remotely as in person. You're just able to see the workplace theater more. And by doing this, you are creating such a level of hostile work environment and stress in your workforce, which hurts productivity, hurts your ability to retain employees, hurts morale, and just overall kills your organizational culture. We have got to, as business leaders, get a hold of these toxic employees and toxic managers and say, you're part of the problem, so let's help you have the tools so that we can fix this. It's about learning to be a better you and evolve as a leader. When you learn the actual tools to calculate things like quota, you and how to better load balance, especially with the fact that in remote work, there is less of a need for non-producing managers and more of a need for producing managers, meaning we want leadership that's rolling up their sleeves and getting down and dirty with us in the work. And as such, there needs to be load balancing for one, for those in leadership holding those kind of roles because they cannot lead and have an excessive quota, and you cannot be overwhelming your entire workforce to where they're burnt out and they really sit and take the hard look of, you only live once, YOLO. Do I need this job that badly? So as leaders, we have to be thought leaders as well, and we have to be the type of leader that our team wants to be with. A stressed workforce statistically and historically does not yield good results for your company. Think about yourself, your company, and your team. Your team is your greatest asset. Treat them as such. That's all I have for you today. If you like this content, please like and subscribe. And remember, sharing is caring, but also keep in mind that remote, it's here to stay.